Yeah, I think we are all goody. I have to admit, I have not kept up with the news at all this week. Apart from, yeah, like probably, I would imagine is one of the biggest stories of the day, which we talked about a little bit, didn't we, already?
Yeah. Wait,
But
did we?
apart,
What was that?
the Tango.
Oh, yeah. You know when you've been tangoed. Do you remember that advert? That's a bit of a
That was a
throwback,
good,
isn't
that
it?
was a good ad. Yeah, it wasn't a bad sort of slogan. Yeah, that's what they call it. Catchphrase, slogan. Um, yeah. Ooh, I didn't see this. Oh, that's an interesting story number 6. Let's
Oh, yeah.
go. Let's go.
Story number 6. The
Big,
exciting story number 6.
yeah. Stay tuned for story number 6, everyone. It's a big one. Yeah, subscribe.
Okay. Great. All right, jingle us in then and we'll get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's funny.
Yeah, good to go.
Fantastic. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 142nd episode of the Quick Resume podcast. If you own an Xbox, if you play games on a PC via the stupid little Windows Store, the game thing that they have, you're in the right place. My name is Deck. Over there, that's Tim.
Hello, everyone.
And we're here to talk to you about general game stuff and Xbox stuff that have happened this week. It continues to be a fairly dry spell in the world of Xbox, which is, to be fair, is probably a good thing. So we don't like pop a blood vessel after the first half of the year. It's getting a bit much then. So we've had a bit of downtime, but we are coming up to Gamescom. So there's plenty of good discussions to have around Gamescom today. We've had a couple of leaks and rumors about the next big Xbox game going multi-plat, so I'm sure that's going to foster some very level-headed discussion. Tango got saved, of course, if you haven't kept up. Tango Gameworks, the developers of Hi-Fi Rush, and what was the other one? Evil Within?
Yeah.
And Ghostwire Tokyo. They were closed earlier in the year by big evil Xbox and Microsoft, and now they've been acquired from the jaws of closure by Krafton.
That's the one.
And they're the publishers of PUBG and the Callisto Protocol. So that's a very weird marriage there. So plenty to talk about today, but the Xbox news is admittedly light. As per usual, we're going to kick off the show today by talking about general stuff we've been playing, general stuff we want to bring. So Tim, I'll throw it to you as always. Game brain, game topics. What's the haps, bro?
Yeah, not much from me this week, to be honest. Quite a light one in terms of what I've been playing. What have I been playing? I've been playing Valorant a little bit more so than usual. We've met on a few nights this week to get in some ranked time. And to be honest, I think that's it. I wrapped up Path of the Goddess. I can't remember if I wrapped that up in the last time we spoke on the podcast. I don't think I did. I think I was still going.
You had a couple bits left.
Yeah. So I wrapped that one up. I think I did that on. Well, it must have been like Saturday or Sunday or something. Really good. We sung its praises last episode, so obviously if you want to get into it, that's the one to go watch and or listen to, because we definitely talked its praises there. But the game kind of held its mark going into the final hours, and I thought it was really good. I still stand by, that's hands down one of the best games I've played this year. Definitely one of the best that is released this year for me. If there wasn't things like Rebirth and stuff like that, it might have been close to the top, but I'd say it's in the top 3. So really solid. I think final score, I'd probably give it like an 8.5. For me, I think I got pretty frustrated with the last boss, but then looking back on it in hindsight, I think there's just a particular way to sort of do it and like build around it. I guess, but I went in there and it was just kind of frustrating the way you thought of it, the way you fought it. So I don't want to spoil it, but some parts were good, some parts were bad, but maybe you'll have a completely different experience to me. But yeah, I'd probably say a solid 8.5. Really good game. Really good.
Awesome. I think it's a real. I've had this a few times where I've like played a game and the last boss has been like particularly hard or particularly frustrating, or like maybe like a huge power spike in some way, and it's really hard to not be biased against the game because of that last fight. Like it's really hard to not be like, oh, it was okay. Like it like paints your whole experience of the game because it's the last
Yeah.
thing, and it's like recency bias kind of thing.
Well, it's why they say like what is it like endings to books and like movies and stuff like that. They're so hard to write for that reason because it's the last thing that people see. If it's good, it's fantastic, and people leave on a high. If it's bad, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, doesn't it? So,
Yeah.
to be honest, Rebirth had a very similar thing for me. Really, really strong, and it lulled in some parts, but like the final boss was just like like, and I'm used to it in Final Fantasies, but it was your classic like 20 stage boss fight. I shit you not, I was fighting
Jesus.
the boss for around an hour and a half to 2 hours. And every time you
Wow.
thought it was over, he came back in a new form, and even Tilly, like an hour and a half in, was like, how many fucking forms has this guy got? Like, what is going on here? Like, it just got quite tedious. So yeah, it's a hard thing to nail, but like I said, I don't think it was inherently a bad design. I just think maybe just specific ways to approach it, really. So yeah.
Sure, I get you. I think the one boss that comes, there's two bosses that come to mind with that. One is Sekiro, which I like. It's the same for me, which is like a great game. I probably give it like an 8.5. As I've spoken about on the show before, like bone crunchingly hard. But the last boss was the same. It was like there's another stage, and like the whole game was kind of like that, where one of the things I didn't like about Sekiro is like they kind of felt like there was needlessly extra stages to bosses. It's like, you're just being a bit sadistic now, aren't you? And the last one was particularly like that, where like you'd get to the next stage and it was like a completely different move set, and it's like, okay, I've just got to keep doing this until I understand. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even transfer my learnings from the second stage, and I found that quite frustrating. So then you have to go and do the whole fucking thing again. And I remember a really big offender at the time was Quantum Break. I don't know if you remember. Did you complete Quantum Break?
I think I did. Yeah, but my God, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, I remember that was like the last boss was when you fought, I can't remember the guy, the guy at the top of the tech company who was
Yeah.
making the
Yeah.
time travel ticket, and you fought him in an empty pool, like an empty swimming pool room, and he would just do this like big AoE, like this red circle would just fill up the room and just blow you up. And I don't even remember I can't really remember like what the strategy was or anything. I just remember that everybody at the time was like, "What the fuck was that?" Like that was horrible, and it was so hard to not allow it to paint, the game with that. Yeah, like you said, it's like this recency bias. So I think it's serial number effect as well, where it's like the first thing or the last thing in a set of reading or interactions
Yeah,
can
definitely.
has have the biggest impact.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, same for me. Still been playing a lot of Valorant. Still think it's great. Still bitching about the prices of gun skins in that game. Like, oof, oh,
They're
oof,
absurd.
oof, oh my.
25 quid for a
Oh.
single gun skin is a bit absurd.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on. I mean, I know they're cool and all, but like, I shouldn't be having to sell a kidney to get a skin for a gun in a video game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Micro transaction.
Yeah. Just call it major transaction. Just change it. The first ever game to have major transactions.
It's just a purchase at that point. It's just a fucking normal purchase. Yeah, I think I'm on the last level of Path of the Goddess. And for anybody who's not familiar, I'm sure all of our listeners are, but in case you search for it on Game Pass, it's Kitsunagi, isn't it? It's Kitsunagi Path of the Goddess.
So. You can just I did it in the store though. If you just type Path of the Goddess, you'll find it. You don't need to do the whole Japanese bit in front of it.
Fair point.
So But
Yeah,
yeah,
fair point.
thank God they did that.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, I think I'm at the end. I just did that the spider boss. You know, the one that
Oh
like runs
yeah,
around
I
the
hate
area.
that. The music in that boss fight was so bizarre to me, dude. It was good, but it was just so like compared to all the other music in the game, it was just so out there, and it was just like
Yeah, what doesn't it?
screaming. It was a really weird boss fight, man. It's really weird.
It was to make it feel like frantic. Yeah, I
It
think
kind
I
of gave me
failed
the
once, but then
shivers.
got it on the second try. Yeah, and then I went back to do it again to do the time trial, which I'm glad I did because the talisman you get is fucking busted.
Oh really?
It allows all of your guards to charge up at once. So you know all of the abilities. You know what I'm
Oh
talking about.
whoa, yeah, that is
Such a
so
good.
good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. Wow.
And I had to kill him in under 3 minutes, which took a couple of tries, but I just had to put on a load of really powerful guards abilities to stun him as often as I could, and put
Mm.
up a shield around the goddess so that she survived for as long as she could while we just chased the fucker around the map to kill him.
Oh, okay,
Um,
interesting. Okay, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I found that the game's been really well designed for things like that, for like replay value. As I've said before on the show, I've gone back and completed like levels to get extra currency and stuff. And yeah, it is a great game. But like I'd score it slightly higher myself. I'm still like in the 9 to 9.5 range. I do have like a couple of like frustrations. I think it's frustrating that you can't like change your loadout at the beginning of missions. You have to like go out, go to the base, go to the
Mm,
thing, change it. Like I found that quite frustrating.
yeah.
I feel there's like a little bit of like weird balancing with some of the villagers. For the most part, it's really good, but there's just like a couple that feel significantly less useful than the other ones, or like
Mm.
are unnecessary.
All the ranged
Um,
characters are OP in that game.
yeah, definitely. But I generally they're quite minor gripes. I
Yeah,
just think it's a really well designed game. I've had such a good time with it. I'm coming up to 30 hours for this kind of game, and yeah, I'll be sad to see the tail end of it, but I'm just glad I got to play it. Like you said, it's just been really good time, really unexpectedly good time, and I think that's the best kind of time.
absolutely, absolutely.
Just get down a t-shirt.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but yeah.
Mm. I suppose. Um, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Geek Made Design. I'm going to repeat
Oh,
that. Geek Made Design. If you're on your laptop right now and you're listening to the show, just give it a quick type into Google or whatever. They do these really nice, like wood and metal, like controller holders, like headset holders. And my wife got me one for Father's Day. Took months to make and get sent out, but
mm.
finally got it. And we've got this one that's like custom made for the Elite Series 2. And like you have to request that specifically because of like the paddles, and it's shaped differently.
They're
So
gonna
it's got this
release a
nice
new
shape of wood.
Elite next week. Mark my
Oh,
words.
don't! I was thinking about that. If they announce that at Gamescom, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
Oh god.
It's just this really nice bit of wood. What did I say? It was walnut. I said it was walnut, didn't I? In that passive aggressive
Yes.
voice message I sent
Yeah,
you.
I think you
Yeah,
did. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And it's got this nice like metal bar on it that I hang my controller on, and the charging block that's on the inside of the controller case. If you've got an Elite, you'll know what I'm talking about. That you rest the controller on. There's space
Mm.
for that in the wood, so I pop that in there, and then the cable goes in the back, and it's all like like disguised. It's just really lovely. So I just wanted to give them a quick shout out because they're great for a present. If I've got any like wives or girlfriends or partners in general of gamers, it's a good present idea.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it looks super cool when you show me. Yeah, I really liked it, and I'm guessing you can get like all kinds of like you get like light wood and stuff like that with like a lighter varnish on it, and
Oh
you
yeah.
could get like can you get like I was thinking instead of like you got like your metal pole like rod coming out of your headset, would you be able to get that but like in copper or something and have it like shiny? That'd be kind of cool.
Maybe I'm on the website now. I don't know, but there are lots of options. Like,
Mm.
for example, there's another one that has the Elite controller, but they've engraved out space for all the paddles and stuff in the wood, so you can put each individual
Oh,
part in the wood.
yeah, that's cool.
There's some which are bigger, which has space for the console, so you can have the console with your headset and the controller like all on one slab of wood, which looks really nice.
Mm.
Um, They do these for PlayStations as well. If we happen to have any PlayStation fans listening, although I would say that the likelihood of that is zero.
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Cool.
super lovely stuff. Really nice present idea.
Nice.
And then the final thing I just wanted to talk about this week, 'cause it just caught my eye before we get into the Xbox news, was that a game called Barkour got announced.
Yeah, I've never heard of
See
this. I just saw this in the notes and I was like, did he make a spelling mistake? I was like, this doesn't
It's
look
exactly
right.
what you think it is. It's exactly what you think it is.
Is it
Barkour.
dog? Is it dog parkour?
Yes.
Nice. That's insane. I just googled dog parkour. Barkour.
Yeah, you play as you play as it's a stealth game where you use a gadget using dog who does parkour. It's like Perfect Dark, but you're a dog. You know, it's
yeah, Mirror's Edge, but you're a spy dog, and it's called Barkour.
like I
Barkour
could
is
not
the
mention
stealth
that. Like, how
game.
fucking cool is that?
A
Like, that's such a
secret
great idea.
agent dog. This sounds incredible. So what, like,
Right?
what's the deal with this? Like, what, like platforms, Games Pass, release date? What's going on with this then?
According to this Game Rant article, Barkour will run and jump its way onto PC and home consoles sometime in 2025, though specifics are still scarce at the present time. That's
Okay. All right. Nice.
And I think we've only had a CG trailer at this point, but like I couldn't not mention that because that's just like
Yeah.
that's 10 out of 10 like naming.
And
Barkour.
it's you know the amount of stuff Stray got, you know, it's pretty much a guaranteed Game of the Year nomination, isn't it?
It's so true, yeah. It's so true.
God, fucking Stray, dude.
Fucking Stray. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where we start here. I think maybe we just let's start with maybe some of the smaller stuff. So it's item 5, Tim. Where would be good to start, I think, which is that Overwatch 2 is getting some Game Pass integration in the same way that Valorant does. And it's really, I can't remember if I highlighted this last week, but it's really important to note that Valorant has become on Xbox, it's on the Game Pass tab. So if you click on Game Pass, Valorant is there, which is really unconventional because it's a free to play game. You know, you don't buy it. Nonetheless, it's in the Game Pass catalog. It's being advertised as a Game Pass game because you get so many bonuses. For those that don't know, you get access to all of the heroes, which is like a lot of the agents, sorry, which is a lot of monetary value, I guess, is
or
the best way
in-game
to say it.
currency. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get, I think, is it like 20% XP boost? Like it's a good XP boost as well on like the battle pass, and I think general leveling up too.
It might be 15. I'm feeling like it's 15, but yeah, it's still a nice chunk. Yeah,
no doubt. And so they're doing the same here with Overwatch, which is obviously great, you know, given that Xbox owns Blizzard now, and I think they really need to be taking advantage of this kind of, especially if these free-to-play games that can't go into Game Pass in the conventional sense, make perks, like make it. And we've spoken about the idea of perks becoming more a bigger deal on Game Pass. Like, what do you think about this and what I've kind of got up on screen?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Yeah, we talked about this in the past. We love the Riot collaboration they did with Valorant and stuff, and yeah, like we own Xbox own Blizzard now, so you know why not? And like you said, if you can't directly because it's free to play lob it into Games Pass or whatever, you can still market Xbox, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just make your bonuses elsewhere. I think this is a really smart business idea. I think it just it's just going to get people in the door, right? Because a lot of people are probably, it's just that another incentive to get Games Pass to think like, oh, I'll try other stuff, which is exactly why we love Games Pass and we praise it, because people will be like, well, I'm playing Overwatch anyway, and I love Overwatch, and then I can also, if I subscribe to Games Pass, you know, I've got my eye on a couple of things, and I can also gain benefits to Overwatch, right? Where I get discounts on what is it like, let's have a look. Stackable XP boost. Okay, so it's not like inherent discounts, so it's not like you get like a little reduction on like coins or whatever they have. Do they have like their own currency in that game? I don't think they do. I just think it's straight up $9.99 for like the battle pass.
Well, It's probably worth just reading out what the
Yeah.
information we've actually got, which is what they're saying is 30 mythic prisms. I don't know
What
what
is
that
that?
is. That
We
sounds like a
haven't
currency.
we
Yeah.
haven't played
'Cause
Overwatch in a few seasons, so I don't know what the fucking mythic prism is. But yeah.
can you just Google it while I read out the rest?
Sure.
What the fuck a
Yeah.
mythic prism is?
Let's do it.
6 legendary and epic bonus skins. Access to select shop cosmetics from prior seasons. That's interesting. So, as a Game Pass member, you get exclusive access to certain cosmetics from previous seasons. It's a bit like, eyebrow raising, because it's like I get the privilege to purchase skins from previous seasons. Sick, but still, it's something. And a stackable XP boost, which sounds like what we just described with Valorant. You get an XP boost which is flat, and you can use other things on top of that. So
And I
it's
wonder if
fairly similar to
this, with that stackable XP boost, I guess it's not specific, so that's not like a boost to Battle Pass XP, but it's like an in-game, because Overwatch has in-game leveling, doesn't it? So
I bet it is Battle Pass. Yeah, I bet it is Battle Pass.
it's weird that they didn't specify that, but yeah, I guess you would have thought they'd be like in-game stackable XP Battle Pass XP boost, and because obviously you got your account level in Overwatch, right? You got all that going on. So I don't know. Just seems weird. I feel like it's something they would specifically announce. And also, by the way,
Maybe it just applies to both.
a mythic prism is a form of currency introduced in Overwatch in Season 10. They were introduced alongside the Mythic Shop and can be used to purchase Mythic skins and other Mythic cosmetics in the Mythic Shop. So essentially, it's like buying, I guess, like the end rewards, those Mythic skins, like a really sick Genji one and all that sort of stuff. You can buy just outright with this currency. Don't know if that shop rotates or anything, or if it's just you can always get that stuff, but I wonder how much 30 is, which is interesting. I'll see if I can find that out.
Yeah. Yeah, if anybody knows, feel free to leave us in the comments or to hit us up in
so
chat. Because we don't.
So 10 mythic prisms are $9.99 and 50 are 40. This is dollars.
Okay.
So 30 you're looking at like 20, 25. No, yeah, like $25 maybe.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, 20 bucks. So yeah, not too bad, I guess. You could probably buy a whole mythic skin with that.
I wish we got that on Valorant, to be honest. I'd like just a one-time injection, of
yeah, because it gets like that
credits.
Like genuinely, it gets your foot in the door, and it makes people buy more. Like, I shit you not. Like, I mean, I'll just go from recently, I do like Pokemon cards and stuff like that. But the month that I pulled my really like expensive card and I got like a really epic card, I bought so much more Pokemon cards that month. Like, I genuinely, it's just like I'm on a hot streak, and I just spent like another like 70 quid on like Pokemon cards. So I imagine it has this same effect, which is why they're willing to just give stuff like this away, because then it makes people want more, right? There's definitely some psychology to it.
Oh, there is. It's why they do. It's why they do that with gambling as well, isn't it? It's like you get £10 free, just for signing up. So it kind of gets you started. Yeah, I'm not sure of like the name of the effect, but yeah, yeah, and it's great. I think this is good. I think they really need to, especially because we're living in a world now where these black hole games are taking up like 70% of gamers' time overall. Like, they need to be giving value to those people with Game Pass as well. And I think this is a good way to do it, as long as they're worth a damn. And then this is okay. It's not. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't say it's restricted to Game Pass Ultimate, from what I can tell. You just have to link your Battle.net account to your Xbox account. And it also says, I don't know if you heard what I was saying while you were Googling there, you get access to a select Overwatch 2 shop with cosmetics from prior seasons. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I heard your comment about it as well. It's a little bit questionable how that's accessible only. But I mean, I guess this is where the waters get a bit muddied, isn't it? And you have to just be like, there's got to be some benefits to playing a game like this on the platform that owns it, considering it's free across the board anyway, right?
Hmm.
I mean, do you really see that as a problem? I don't know.
I don't think it's a problem. I just think it's more like, oh, so the benefit of me paying for Game Pass is that I can pay to get previous season stuff. It's like it's like a bit of a backhanded benefit, unless of course you can buy the previous season stuff with like in-game currency.
Mm.
If in which case, sure. Like, yeah, sure. Like, if you can give people access to previous stuff, it reduces the FOMO, I suppose,
Mm.
which is kind of could be good. We'll have to see how the community kind of reacts to this sort of integration. But it
Yeah,
looks good on the surface of it.
yeah, definitely, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think Overwatch 2 is doing okay again. I think it's earning some goodwill back, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I still
Well,
think
they
it's
announced recently that they were thinking about reverting to 6v6, don't they?
yeah,
Which was
yeah.
made my eyes roll, but a lot of the community wants that apparently. So.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, what was the 2 slapped on for, except
Yeah.
for just introducing a free to play model and a battle pass?
Yeah. It's such a fumble. It was such a fumble. Overwatch
Yeah,
2.
it really was.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I hope they keep this up. There's plenty of ways that they could continue to do this in all of their service games, really. Even their first party ones, like making a clearer benefit, especially as these first party games start to go to other systems, albeit later. Things like Forza Horizon 5, things like Sea of Thieves, just having a really clear way to know, oh, I'm going to get like benefits in all of these games by being
Mm.
part of Game Pass. And maybe they can't do COD now, but down the line, that would be huge for COD, right? To have something
Mm-hmm.
like this for COD as well. I don't know if they'd be able to do the same thing for Fortnite. I doubt it. I think Fortnite's probably too big.
Yeah, but it's stuff
But
like
yeah,
ESO, like the next ESO 2 could fall into that
yep,
category, or if they do like another
totally.
Fallout, or they just carry on expanding those games, maybe they fall into that category as well. So, I mean, to be fair, actually, ESO already do that, don't they? They say if you have Games Pass, I think you just have like all but the latest expansion, I think, or
You
the
might be right.
latest
Yeah,
two.
yeah, you might
It's
be right.
it's something like that, and I believe that's only
Mm.
Games Pass. So yeah, no, I mean there's definitely scope for all this sort of stuff, and yeah, for future things as well. And yeah, COD, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, to think that something like that could be a thing for COD. Considering COD go kind of hard with their like Warzone collaborations and skins sometimes and stuff like that, So yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Cool. Well, I thought that was just an interesting thing to start us off with, because it
Mm.
does seem like they are getting more invested with having these perks for these live service games. And I think that's a great angle to go down, especially if they keep it up as well. I think that's worth noting. Like, the announcement is great, but like if next month you get another drop of stuff as well, like that's really, I suspect that's what they want to do because they want to keep people subscribed rather than just subscribing for, a
Yeah,
month and then stopping. So
yeah,
so
yeah.
as long as that's clear, like as long as they make that clear on the UI, on the dashboard, wherever it is, that is something you get on a monthly basis, I think that could be quite effective. So yeah, cool. We'll see where this goes.
Hmm.
We'll come up to story 3, please, Tim. Again, starting with the smaller stuff. The Windows game bar. So the game bar that you usually use on PC has become more handheld friendly. Sus. A new compact mode for the game bar is now in testing for Xbox insiders. Apparently, it looks great. This is Tom Warren's words over from The Verge for those who play on PC with a controller, and it really does look like a mini Xbox UI. Like the way that if you have an Xbox, you know how it kind of works. The dashboard kind of slides out from the left hand side of the screen.
Hmm.
It looks just like that, and it's I wonder why. Yeah, so this is for for all of the portable PCs that are out there at the moment. I suppose is the main thing this is on. This is for like Lenovo Legion Go, um, Asus ROG Ally, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. But I definitely think, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's definitely a way of, I think, tidying it up for the systems that obviously use this now, portable. But yeah, I think it's 100%. There's something stinky going on there. Like perfectly portable UI. I don't know,
Mm.
man. I
Guys,
think
guys,
it's been rumored for a while that there's some kind of Xbox handheld on the way, and I think, you know, I think this all but just starts to solidify those claims, even though they pretty much just haven't they been all but confirmed basically by Philly. Like who was literally just like, yeah, it's happening at some point.
yeah.
So yeah, interesting. And you know, if they're whacking this stuff out now, you know, and saying like it's for like, yeah, the portable PCs that obviously use it now, it'd be interesting to see if there's maybe something closer than we think in the works, you know, maybe sort of end of 2025, maybe something like that, you know, in time for Christmas to go under your stockings in 2025, under your tree.
Yeah, it would fit well. It would fit well.
It feel
It'd be
real well.
portable. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a very interesting area of the industry at the moment, sort of portables, because these PC portables are very like there's a big sect of like hardcore gamers who are very enthusiastic about them. You know, because they are PCs in the sense that you can use a Windows store on them, you can use Steam on them. It's not maybe not as straightforward as a console, but they've usually been optimized enough for it to be a bit more simple than using an actual PC.
Mm.
And then Steam Deck, of course, is running on Steam OS, so that's kind of a different beast, but nonetheless still appealing. And they haven't quite blown up in the way, you know, obviously like a Nintendo Switch has, but companies are still making them. Like clearly they've identified some sort of market
Mm-hmm.
demand.
Yeah.
And with the Switch 2 probably coming out next year, like it's a really interesting place to think about who's thinking about what. And, you know, obviously PlayStation made their PlayStation Portable, which you could maybe argue was a testing bed for their own native portable console somewhere down the line, you know, like a Vita successor.
Mm, yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know, man. I feel like when Sony do something and it doesn't do too great, I feel like they kind of just drop out of the race for it. I don't feel like they have much wiggle room to experiment and keep these things going and multiple iterations and stuff like that. So, yeah, depending on the success of the PlayStation Portal, yeah, I don't know. But obviously, I think there's an element of everyone just watches the competition, right? Like you said.
Mm.
And yeah, what might happen with that? Because yeah, as much as I just said I completely forgot the Switch 2 was coming out next year, and I'm just like, oh yeah, potentially Xbox Portable next year. It's like, sure, do you want to release it to be a direct competitor, or are you just going to get absolutely drowned if you release it around that sort of time? You know, so. Mm.
Definitely, yeah. It makes it really interesting. And funnily enough, actually, I've just seen that Tom Warren, again of The Verge, has just posted a article titled "Microsoft is now in a handheld gaming PC race," essentially confirming that Valve has spoke to them earlier this week that they are working on supporting Steam OS, so the thing they use on Steam Deck, on rival handhelds like the ROG Ally, like Lenovo Legion Pro.
Okay.
So these portable PCs will be able to use Windows, but also Steam OS as well. So that kind of sets the whole thing up again against a really interesting background. Yeah, I mean, who knows where that will go? I just checking the pulse on that, Tim. I can't remember the last time we spoke about it. How are you feeling about the idea of an Xbox portable? You know, if it was just a PC that was really well optimized and had a nice UI that could play um, Xbox games like natively. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I was very much in the camp, and I think, yeah, when we last spoke about this, which was a while ago, I was much more in the camp that I would like something more native and something a bit bulkier and can play these things yeah, natively. You know, I wasn't a big fan of the way that PlayStation handled theirs, where essentially you kind of just stream it and it's kind of Wi-Fi only and stuff like that. You know, that sort of stuff's nice, but then I feel like you have your devices already, like your phones and stuff like that, which can sort of bridge that gap. That I don't feel like you need to go out there and buy something that kind of just does that but better. I feel like you have something that, yeah, like sure, it's not fantastic, but it already fills that space a little bit. as like a temporary measure. And I feel like if you're going to go for something like this, just go big and go native, make it powerful and handheld. Yeah, like I would splash some money on something like that. I would.
Definitely, and it's part of the question that we've had continuously of like, is the handheld getting released alongside whatever the next Xbox is, like in the same way we had the Series X and S this gen, or is it going to kind of be its own independent release where it's maybe not even so much an Xbox handheld, it's just a PC, in the same way Asus ROG Ally is, but it's really well optimized and has, the window dressing of the Xbox UI. And are these systems going to run, like we've said, have other storefronts like Steam OS on them? And I mean, this seemingly makes it possible with like what I've just read out from The Verge that Steam would be like, yeah, we're going to put the Steam OS on Xbox's handheld.
Yeah.
Right. That this seemingly opens that door, but The Verge is framing it as competition. So I do wonder if this would make it more or less likely, but they both seem to be open to just putting their stuff everywhere because you can access Windows on the Steam Deck, but it's a bit of it's not officially supported. Like you have to, I think it's a bit of a workaround to get to it. It's not blocked by any means, and I don't think they would ever do that, but you can make it work to access like the Windows Store on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's anything companies have learned and stuff like that is don't compete with Steam. Just like you just can't do it.
Shake hands.
Yeah, your best option here is to shake hands, give them a big old check, and just get their launcher on your system, get their OS on your system, and have it play nice. Because in the long run, that shit's going to benefit you far more, and it will be far cheaper than having to try and develop your own and get users over and market that, and just the years that will take to even get off the ground, and we're still probably, it won't even come close to being the competitor to Steam. So it seems like it would be a lot of money, but it makes sense just to actually, like you said, just shake hands with Steam and just work with them. So
very quickly as well, just while we're on the topic of, I suppose, what's the segue here? While we're on the topic of gaming on smaller devices, really randomly, we've just had announced dates for Age of Empires Mobile. Didn't even know that was in dev. I don't know if that was known to the world, but I've lost it now because X fucking sucks. Sorry, Twitter fucking sucks, and it just randomly refreshes your page when you're on. You want something. It's shit. So that's coming in a couple months. And I also saw a release date for the Elder Scrolls Castles. I know we mentioned this the other week.
Yeah.
Here it is. Yeah, Elder Scrolls Castles launching on September the 10th from the team behind Fallout Shelter. It looks all right, honestly. I'm looking at the gameplay, but looks all right.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be good. I've heard Fallout Shelter is great. So nice.
Sweet. Okay. I'm just like really quickly flicking through my Twitter feed because I'm like, is anything else going to happen right now while we're on the show?
Surprisingly, a couple of things have, which is really weird.
Yeah. Always annoying when that happens. Okay. Right. Okay, great. So let's get on to some of the bigger boys then. Let's come back and talk about Tango. Saved from the Reaper after Xbox's arguable fumble. What's the feeling here, Tim? Are there mixed emotions? Are there angry emotions? Are there happy emotions? What's the feel?
Yeah, I guess mixed, right? Obviously not mixed to them getting bought up. Like absolutely, like that's a win for them and they deserve it. And yeah, like absolutely, they need to keep making what the games they make and what they do best, which is potentially Secret Hi-Fi Rush, Evil Within. These are all games I love. So that is a massive positive. But yeah, I can't help but just feel like it's just a fumble, right? Like it feels like such a shame that sort of talent isn't under Xbox's umbrella now. I get that it doesn't really fit their structure, and how they want to do, like, go moving forward in terms of like yeah, like development, they want their studios close by and they want collaborative work and all that sort of stuff, like I guess it doesn't fit that ball, but because I've just made a pass. Like they're still a really good studio and they made you an absolute banger and they could do in the future as well. Like, could you just not make a pass and just have them work a little bit more remote? But hey ho.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Could you not have docked your pay by like, one of the 60 billion you get a year just to
exactly.
like
Right.
see how it goes?
So
Um,
yeah, so obviously like massive positive and incredible they got bought up, but yeah, just a shame they're not under that umbrella anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm largely feeling the same way. Like, I'm really happy for the team. I'm really happy that like we're now in a world where a Hi-Fi Rush 2 could happen. Like, if you've been
Mm,
listening to the show, that was my favorite game last year. It was my favorite game in a long time, actually. Really, really loved that game, especially as an original IP, and even more so. It was nice that we kind of had this Critical Darling come out, as an Xbox game. It felt really Xbox brand associated it for a number of ways. Like I remember talking about the time that at the time like, all of the main characters were pretty much primary colors, apart from blue. But and that was like the buttons on the front of the Xbox controller. I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but for sure, like it kind of felt like there was a bit of brand association there that made it. And Chai was a mascot, and like Xbox is so short on mascots. Like if they've acquired some now, I guess, like Crash, I guess, is an Xbox mascot, but it's like, that stuff takes time to really sink in with releases and everything. So it doesn't really feel like it, but Chai did feel like it, and it's such a shame that that's just gone now. I'm really happy that the team still gets to do what they do. And we spoke about the reasons for why this happened with the closure. It was mostly a geographical problem from what I understand. They were way out in Asia, and Xbox are kind of centralizing their studios. And Krafton, the publisher that's acquired them, is a Korean studio, so like they're like more that they're more nearby.
mm,
So it is a damn shame. But we are, of course, happy for the studio, and we don't know from what I can tell, they allowed them to keep the Hi-Fi Rush IP, but Xbox seems to have, from what I understand, Xbox has kept the other IPs, so Ghostwire Tokyo, Evil Within. I
ah,
don't know what this means. I don't know if they'll make a deal with them in the same way that they made with like Toys for Bob, who went independent, who have since said we've got a publishing deal with Xbox for our next release. I don't know if the same thing will happen here, because they're not independent. They're going to be owned by Krafton, but maybe they will. Maybe they'll have a second party relationship with Tango in the sense that we'll have it for a year, timed exclusivity on Game Pass.
yeah, maybe.
I just Yeah, I think it would be a stupid. I suppose I'm frustrated about this as well. Is that there's multiple IPs that Xbox has had brand association with in the past that like wouldn't have taken much more work other than a splash of money to money hat the game to keep up that brand association, but they
Mm,
didn't want to do that because they've moved strategy to wanting to own everything. A couple of examples coming to mind are Alan Wake, Knights of the Old Republic, which I know is in a bit of development hell at the moment. I think Mass Effect was originally back in the day, wasn't it? I know that's maybe it's
mm,
again a bigger deal, but still, I mean, you've seen my point that Xbox had this kind of association with these um, franchises, and they've just kind of let it. They're just like, nah. And now then they go multi-platform, and now nobody associates Alan Wake with Xbox anymore, even though that was the case for such a long time. And Knights of the Old Republic. And
mm.
I would hate to see them make the same mistake here again. With Hi-Fi Rush, which everybody remembers very vividly as the shadow drop for the developer direct, the first developer direct that everybody loved. And I just so
Yeah,
that's where I'm at with it. I'm glad that the studio's out where they are now, but I hope Xbox is able to look at the mistakes they've made with allowing some of those brand associations to fizzle out in the past.
yeah, no, yeah, I hard agree. Yeah, there's been quite a lot of fumbles with that in the past, and yeah, hopefully lessons learned. It seems like Xbox are starting to learn their lessons, and they're actually starting to take different approaches to things. I mean, God forbid their marketing is still not that, but like, um, yeah, maybe they will do better with that because yeah, it would be a shame to see some of these not have any kind of benefit to like the Xbox brand or anything like that. So yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, happy for the team.
Absolutely.
Well done, guys. You've been tangoed.
Cracking. Okay. What next? Let's talk about Gamescom and what we're expecting to see there. So this can be a combination of story number 2 and probably story number 4, Tim.
Okay.
So I just wanted to have a bit of a general chat about Gamescom. You know, any hopes, any hopes for things that we don't know are going to be there, any things we're excited to see, and I've tried to put a list there of things that we already know are there. It's not exhaustive, but it's the main things. Yeah. What do you think, Tim? Anything in particular you're hoping to see or are excited to see more
of? Yeah, for me, definitely Towerborn. I want to see more of that, and I want to just know that because that's still slated for a 2024 release. And what? Where is it? Who is it? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, and I just love the look of it. Like when we've seen it, I've loved it. So I would just want to see more for it for that reason as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's probably my big one. Monster Hunter, yeah, is definitely up there as well, which you chucked on the list.
Oh yeah.
Which is confirmed to be there, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
So
that's what they're doing the weapon videos for. They're doing one a day as a countdown up to Gamescom.
That's cool. I like that. So yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe see some like different monsters. Maybe they'll show like a flagship. That'd be cool. Like the one that's going to be on like the cover art. That'd be cool.
Oh, dude, man, I meant to tell you about this. I've since this has started happening, I've like followed a couple of people on Twitter who are like Monster Hunter, tweeters.
Oh yeah.
And like this has like really tipped my world upside down. What's his name? Is it? I think his name is Tweeting Garuga.
Are they
Fucking
like
shout out to you,
proper
bro.
copium?
Yeah.
Sort of tweets.
No, they're just like great follows. No, they're just great. They're like analyze every fucking frame of these videos. It's incredible. Like somebody has like because every video that comes out with the weapons, they like do a little analysis. They're like, oh, there's a small change here. I like that. There's something here that I'm less keen on. But then there's like, a 50 tweet long essay on like, however, if you take the frame of this armor, you can make out that this might be a jellyfish monster. And I'm like, whoa. This is mental. We're deconstructing the armor to figure out what the monster is, from the armor. It's incredible. And like, yeah, I think it was maybe it was the hunting horn or the hammer set. Somebody was like, we might have a new type of monster and it might be like an octopus because of like how it looks. And they had made like concept art from like how the armor how the armor translates to possibly being on the monster. And I was like, yo, you guys this is great. I didn't know I needed this in my life.
Confirmed underwater combat as well. Let's go. Gosh, it was so jank.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 100% that. I want to see more of that. Towerborn. And yeah, in terms of stuff we don't know is going to be there, I'd like to see the that 30, I think it's called 33 Immortals game, that little like indie kind of game. I'd like to see that because I think that's 33 Immortals, yeah. Because I've had my eye on that for ages, man. I think that game looks really cool. It's slated for this year release. It's missed quite a lot of shows I thought it might appear at. So and
maybe it's a good show.
I think it might get a cheeky little trailer and a release date or something. So that would be something that I'd quite like to see. That I've been waiting on. But yeah, no, for sure. I think top two for me are Towerborn and Monster Hunter. Avowed is kind of up there, but then we've seen quite a lot of Avowed recently. I'm not like, I'd rather Towerborn get like more gameplay than Avowed, like, and Monster Hunter. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Great. Yeah, same. I am everything you've said there. I echo. I am also excited I am excited to see a bit more of Avowed because we'll get a release date trailer confirming the the February date. But because it's now a bit further off, like I'm okay just kind of chilling that for a while. And you're right, we have seen it a few times, but maybe they'll give us an idea of sort of how they're going to use that time. I'm still quite excited for Avowed, and I'm excited that it's going to be a quarter one release. Like, oh my god, incredible stuff. So yeah, but then I've noticed on the list as well. You didn't say, but I'm sure you would have said if you'd spotted it. It's Metaphor Fantasio's there as well.
Oh yeah.
Um, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2. I'm excited to see more of. That looks really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I've been watching videos on that. That looks really cool. That, yeah. And it's co-op as well.
Mm.
Like, you can do like 3-player co-op for the story. Yeah, that
Oh
game
yeah,
looks super cool. It looks really, really fucking fun. It just looks like old school fun. Like, just
it
go in
does. Yeah,
there, just shoot shit, mash them up, gore. It
yeah,
just
some
looks
mob.
really cool, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of vibing for that game.
Hell yeah. Um, then there's something like Stalker 2. I watched a big gameplay thing, the deep dive they put out the other day on Stalker 2, and I thought that looked really actually quite surprisingly good. So I'm probably, if that reviews well, I'll probably just play it on Game Pass. I'm not sure I need to see more of that. I would like to see more Indiana Jones. I want to see more of like what the actual, like moment to moment gameplay is.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's
I
true.
haven't really gotten a good
Yeah.
sense from that. They keep giving me like tone pieces, which are great, but that's not the bit I need to be sold on. The bit I need to be sold on is like, how's the level looking? Like, I assume it's kind of like a level set piece kind of thing.
Yeah,
Level set piece
yeah.
level cutscene, which is fine. But I'd like to know like how the levels play. Like, is there any progression systems? Is there not? Is it always stealth or is there action segments? Like, that's the sort of thing I want to know. Like, what's my toolkit like? Is it just a whip? Do I have guns? Do I have suppressed guns? I've seen in small clips like you can pick up stuff from the floor and use it, so it might be a bit more of like a survivally sort of feel.
Mm, maybe.
Is there crafting? Who knows? Because I know like Wolfenstein had some light progression systems and had, was it crafting? I don't know if it's crafting, but there was some light progression systems. So yeah, I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah, agreed. What about Dune?
Cool.
Dune Awakening. That's a weird one. That's like
Oh yeah,
RTS,
is
isn't
that
it?
the No, I think that's the survival MMO.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh
What the
no.
fuck?
Yeah, because they've shown like 3 CGI trailers of it now, and every
Yeah,
time we see it, it's just all Atreides looking at a desert, like
yeah, like
mogging.
legit. I,
No,
I, I just there's nothing. They might as well not exist. Those trailers,
yeah.
because I don't feel like they've drummed up any hype either. I feel like no one
No.
knows what this game is. At least I don't, and I'm everyone in
No,
my eyes.
it's also from a really like low key developer. I think it's from like a Norwegian studio. Why the fuck's my
Ugh,
Wikipedia in French?
Norwegian.
There we go. Yeah, brother. Oh, okay. So it's the devs behind like Code and Exile and things like that.
Mm.
Okay, so they're not new to the scene. They are a long-standing developer and publisher. But they're just not exactly a household name for such a big IP right now.
Okay. Yeah, could be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to suck, but yeah, we'll see.
When is Gamescom again? When's the release date? When's this guy dropping? I
When's the
forgot.
release date for Gamescom? It is. It starts on the 20th, I think. I think opening night live is on the 20th, so that's like
Oh,
the
so like
showcase
really
sort of
soon.
thing.
Oh, so it's literally a week today. No. Yeah? No.
It's 5 days from today.
Yeah,
It's
5 days.
Tuesday, I think.
Why always Tuesdays? Yeah, that is a Tuesday, yeah. I might put a note in my calendar actually, because I would quite like to watch that.
Yeah. I think it's in the middle of the day as well for us when I checked it. So if we both have some availability, we could maybe look to do like a cheeky little live stream, but no promises.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, if it's in the middle of the day, I'll probably just see if I can choose it from work and watch it on like one screen while I got my other two. But I don't think I'll be able to step away for like an hour and a half unless I use it to use my lunch break or something. But yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Okay. Great. All right. What have we got next? Okay, so I suppose the bolt-on bit of news for this is we had from fairly reliable leakers, Nate Drake and Shinobi, information that the next Xbox game going to other platforms is coming next week. So presumably at opening night live, or some point during Gamescom, there's going to be an announcement that a Xbox game is going to other platforms. We don't know what platforms it's going to. We don't know what the game is. Another leaker had suggested it was Forza Horizon 5. But then two other reporters, Jez Corden from Windows Central, and I think maybe Tom Warren did as well, have said that it isn't Forza. They know it isn't Forza, but they don't know what it is other than that.
Interesting.
What's going on? What game's going, Tim? What game will we see in the rear end of here?
Oh god, there could be so many. I don't know. So what games have they done again? So they've done Skeevers, Sea of Skeevers.
Sea of Skeevers. They did Sea of Skeevers, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Grounded. That was the four
Grounded.
OGs.
Kind of double A vibes.
Let me shorten the net.
Psychonauts.
Not that I know, but I would. Psychonauts is on all consoles, bro.
Psychonauts. Yeah.
Psychonauts 3 coming to all consoles. I guess my thinking is they're going to push something on other platforms that has a sequel coming soon, or is it the end of its life cycle? Yeah. Or that would be like my main thinking, and I think there's a handful of games that fall into that bucket. I do think Forza Horizon 5 falls into that bucket. So if they're saying it's not, then it's not. But like Forza Horizon 5 would kill on PlayStation.
Yeah.
You get the DualSense integration in, and then probably at E3 Xbox Showcase next 2025 they announce Forza Horizon 6. Typically with the Horizon games they announce it and then it comes out the same year in like the last quarter. I suspect that will happen again in 2025. But they're saying it's not, so fine, it's not. I think State of Decay 2 makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
It's had a lot of work. It's had a lot of love. It came out to mixed reception, but it has kind of a cult following. A lot of people report it's really quite good now. But
and it drums
its
up
reputation
hype.
has really recovered. Yep, drums up
for
hype
for a game.
A3 coming.
Yeah, for a game that's not necessarily too well known. Yeah, potentially. What else? I'm really blanking. State of Decay is a good shout though. It kind of ticks the boxes, right? You're not wrong.
It does. The other things I could think of as maybe Flight Sim or Age of Empires.
I don't know.
Age of Empires, because Age of Mythology is releasing this year, and Flight Sim would be a bit weird, but
because isn't Flight Sim the whole like this is possible with our cloud technology? So like how, because it uses so much like cloud work, doesn't it? How would that?
Yeah, I mean it does, but there's nothing like it's not like it's held locally on the console. Like the game, the game would just run from the servers of the game.
Yeah, I guess.
But the only weird thing about it would be that Flight Sim 2024 is coming out this year. And they haven't announced that for other platforms. So are they going to release Flight Sim 2020 on PlayStation? I mean, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think out of everything you said, I think State of Decay is the more likely out of all of them. I think. I think it fits the same sort of vibe of what's come over so far. Maybe a bit smaller in scale. And like you said, it's really in the best place it's ever been. It's going to bring people's attention to the brand, to the IP, and then boom, they release the new one that, hell, this looks really pretty. This is great. What an upgrade. I think it fits the bill a little bit more than the others.
I do wonder, like, if it is State of Decay 2, I do wonder if that means that State of Decay 3 is a 2025 candidate, because of course the trailer we saw didn't have any sort of release anything on it. It didn't have a year or anything on it. But I think there were some I think some insiders had suggested that was targeted for 2025. Who knows if they'll make it or not, or if they'll even need to. But it will make me question, like, what's the best time to push stuff to other platforms, and then follow it up with the sequel. Like, when's the best place to do that to draw more interest and drag people from other systems into the ecosystem.
Yeah, that is true.
My final thought is, we had some rumors, you may remember, it was like a couple of months ago, that like I think it was Master Chief Collection was gearing up for a port, and I think there was also a rumor of like a Combat Evolved remake. I think those two came at the same time. I don't think they were coming from a credible source, but it got the internet talking. So, like, I mean, maybe Master Chief Collection. I mean, I think they would be fucking idiots to do that just out of nowhere, considering it's Halo. Like, it's really the poster child for Xbox. And I think if they're going to do that, they need to be very careful.
They need to be on stabler ground, I think, to do something like that.
And there'd be no good reason unless they're planning to announce a new Halo at Gamescom here, which I doubt. So I can't see how that works.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. Starfield for the new expansion.
Okay. I mean, it's possible. It is possible, right? I mean, I don't know.
I wouldn't have thought this soon. But then, like you said, it's not like just because it's being announced, it's happening this year, right? They could just be like, Starfield will be on other consoles come 2025, early 2025. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
That's true.
I mean, potentially. Yeah, I kind of said it as a bit of a joke, but it kind of makes sense as well. Yeah, it's kind of hard to call with absolutely no hints or.
Starfield probably is going to end up on PlayStation in the future and Switch too. Like, it's probably going to get there eventually. And I mean, I think we kind of know that, like, that's Xbox's strategy now. They're just going for timed exclusive stuff, really. Maybe apart from a couple of outliers like Halo Infinite, like the real staples. But the fact that we're talking about Forza Horizon now is, originally when we first heard about this, we thought like the pillars they probably wouldn't do that with, like Gears, Forza, Halo. But we're now having a conversation where we think maybe, and it just depends when it makes sense, which is its own marketing nightmare. But that's not my job to figure out. Thanks for a good conversation, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it really could be anything, couldn't it? But it does make sense for it to be something. So how was it actually said? Big Xbox game. See, something like that makes me think it's not State of Decay if they've titled it Big Xbox Game.
It's true.
I'm going Starfield. It's Rogue. It's out there. I'm doing it.
My only hesitation with Starfield is that they've already announced Shattered Space, so I feel like it would be kind of weird to then be like, by the way, it's actually coming to other consoles. Yeah, I don't know. They've announced Shattered Space for Xbox and PC, so I feel like it'd be weird for them to just suddenly be like, by the way, it's actually coming to PlayStation 5 as well, along with the full game. I mean, I don't think it's impossible, honestly, but I just like it does make me hesitate.
True.
Oh, here's another one.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct.
Halo Infinite. Killer Instinct.
Yeah, they just did the remastered version of the original Killer Instinct, didn't they?
Was Killer Instinct ever known as a big Xbox game?
I think so. Yeah, definitely at the time.
Yeah,
it was a big deal. Killer Instinct. A lot of people loved Killer Instinct. I would say it still has quite a lot of fanfare, and we know that there's a Killer Instinct 2 in the works. It hasn't been officially announced, but we know it's happening.
I would like that. That'd be cool.
And I also think Killer Instinct 2 is going to be better games that launches multi-platform.
I hope so. I genuinely hope so. I think that's better for the life of the game, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's had all of its struggles leading up to now because it was held just on a single platform, and a single platform it's like its worst time as well. Like in terms of like brand, like it was at like its lowest point. And it's not well known. There's so many fighting games, with like well-established fighting games just coming out of the woodworks now and releasing absolute bangers. I think you got to make it multiplayer, 100%. But you could have the Games Pass benefits. You got the whole roster if you're on Games Pass. It works.
There you go.
It just works.
It does. I mean, and that makes sense as well, right? You know, Killer Instinct 2 announced at the showcase next 2025. Killer Instinct comes out, let's say October, maybe November on PlayStation 5. I don't know if it'll go out on Switch. Maybe it will. I mean, like Mortal Kombat's gone to Switch. Maybe. Get more people interested in playing it. Yeah. I think that one makes sense too. I mean, you're right. You know, talking it through, I think really the ones that most make sense here are State of Decay 2 and Killer Instinct. I would have said Forza Horizon 5, but other people are reporting that that's not the case. But the evidence against State of Decay 2 is that it's, you would argue not a big one. It's not really a big one. Whereas I would say Killer Instinct is a big one.
Bigger than State of Decay. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Spicy. I like it.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll see how this all works out. I wonder if they do announce that opening night live, and I just hope they fucking just announce it and get it over and done with. I don't want like this months of kind of speculating, you know, what more is going on to other platforms and how that's going to be the end of Xbox when it's just, you know, I mean, it's their fault for not properly conveying their vision, in my opinion. But you know, this spiraling doom scrolling like topic that comes up every now and again is just you know, it's a bit exhausting in it.
Yeah. Jeez, my doorbell's loud. Yeah.
That was loud.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Hey Tim, breaking news.
Yeah. Oh, are you serious?
I mean, sort of. Tom Warren again. He's coming up a lot.
Yeah, he's popping off on,
this,
on Twitter.
He is. Yeah. Tom Warren from The Verge just tweeted, just in the last few minutes, some Windows games are showing up in the Xbox store. You can't download or install them, but they're appearing in certain sections of the store on Xbox consoles. Might be a weird store bug. Who knows?
Okay, sorry.
Spooky.
Sorry, what was that? I was just closing my door.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Some Windows games are showing up in the Xbox store. You can't download or install them, but they're appearing in certain sections of the store on consoles. Might be a weird store bug. PC integration. It's happening.
For some reason, they're playing with the live fucking dev. They should be on QA. They should be on development.
Environment, bro.
Yeah. Someone's getting fired. Don't know why you're pushing things to live. Yeah, it's probably just a bug, if I'm honest.
Yeah, maybe.
Take a big old huff of that copium.
Great. We're coming to our last news story of the day. Coming back to more leaky leaks from insiders. Coming from the reliable source, Nate Drake. Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox is going to happen. Just waiting for Square to announce it. Nate Drake has a really good track record. He said this on Reset Era. Anything's possible, though. Things might change, but whenever this man says something, you listen. He gets it right, like 99% of the time.
My man.
We've been talking about this for a while, haven't we? I think even back in January, we were like, you know, for the Dev Direct, maybe. And then, you know, Square, the logo popped up, didn't it? And it ended up being what's it called? Mana. Visions of Mana. But yeah, we've been speaking about this for a while. It's been rumored for a while, so it's just waiting for the right time, I guess. I wonder if Gamescom is the right time. Maybe Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
Maybe Game Awards. You know, it could be any of these things. Hopefully, it's sooner rather than later. But this is going to be another interesting addition to the story of Xbox and PlayStation games like cross-pollinating. You know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm buzzed. I would happily play this game again. For the Chivos on Xbox. This game was a blast, man.
I think I'll play it.
Yeah, I think there are loads of parts of this game you'll love, and then I think there are parts that you'll find a little bit like tedious. You could definitely tell like a lot of it's filler, like a decent amount of it's filler, and like you're only here because the game just can't be a fucking movie like 24/7, and that's the only reason you're doing this. So you might find those bits annoying, but like, oh, dude, like it's just like peak cinema. This game, like, it just makes you feel so fucking cool, man. And I love the combat in it personally as well. So, yeah, I'd be really excited to play this again. Um, and it would be interesting if it releases, if they also would be like, oh yeah, you could also get like the latest DLC and stuff like that, because I haven't actually played that yet on PlayStation, and that's been on my list to play. So maybe I just wait and do it all again on Xbox. But yeah, I think we all knew this was happening, and if I'm honest, I think the sevens are going to come over as well. I think that might take a little bit longer with the whole licensing thing for Sony. I think they hold that one a bit closer to their chest than Final Fantasy 16. Um, but yeah, I think it's all going to come over at some point, definitely.
Yeah, we can only hope. We can only hope as Square Enix continues to report that their profits are in the red, but they seem to have locked in for this 10-year or longer deal with PlayStation, back in like 2014 or whatever. And they're still beholden to that, making this whole Final Fantasy remake trilogy entirely exclusive to PlayStation. And it's killing them, financially. And we've had plenty of other stuff going on, haven't we, with Phil turning up on stage. I think it maybe was at last year at Tokyo Game Show, if I maybe remembering, where he showed up with what's the guy's name? Yoshi P. That's the guy, isn't it, who does the
Yeah.
Final Fantasy games? And them saying, yeah, we are going to start supporting Xbox more, and this, that, and the other. And we got Final Fantasy 14. Is 14 the MMO?
Yeah.
It's cheeks, but it's there. And then
cheeks in our opinion.
Sorry, yes, cheeks in my opinion. Yeah, this would be great. This would be nice to have a Final Fantasy game. I haven't given a single player Final Fantasy game a go, and I've heard everyone speak quite highly of it, so I'd be really happy to give it a go. I wonder if they would support it with Game Pass. I wonder.
I don't think
That'd be nice.
That would be
That'd
really
be
nice. But I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. Square are probably quite desperate right now. Like, they're probably quite happy to chuck it into Games Pass and just get just get all those downloads and just get that flat fee. But like, I also think it could be beneficial, like I said, with the DLC. Maybe you're going to see some upsell there of people that do enjoy the game, and they end up buying the DLC for £16 as well if they got to play the whole thing for Games Pass. So maybe there's an element of that there as well. But yeah, I also think there's rumored that the Final Fantasy 9 is the next remake they're working on, which I don't think is getting like the same remake treatment as 7. Like, I don't think it's getting quite like to that scale, but like it's a very, very big remake. And I think that's just going to be my flat. I just think that, yeah, that's 100% coming to just Xbox and PlayStation day one, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Sorry, did you? I zoned out for a bit in the middle there. Did you mention Visions of Mana?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, because my other thing was when Visions of Mana was announced at the Developer Direct, it didn't. It wasn't on Game Pass. They didn't, like, it was at the Developer Direct, but they didn't get announced for Game Pass, which I thought was really weird. Which makes me think that probably not. Like, they're probably under the impression that their games come so infrequently to Xbox that like we're just going to jump on it, and maybe that's the case for Final Fantasy because it's a bigger, more modern name than Visions of Mana is. But still, I think they've created a problem here where a lot of Xbox players don't really play Final Fantasy games anymore, and I don't know if they're going to see that sort of demand. So we'll see what Xbox negotiates with them. Maybe they come to a good agreement for Game Pass. But going just off that evidence, I would probably say that they won't.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'd probably say so as well. Yeah, I think it would just be you buy it, but exciting nonetheless, especially as a Square Enix fan. I'm happy this day is finally coming and this bridge is finally crumbling from PlayStation exclusivity.
And it'll probably be with the DLC as well, right? So it'll be like, Game of the Year edition or whatever.
Yes, I would imagine so. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, just in time, I think. We had to be a little bit speedier today because our schedules were a little bit tighter, everyone. But that will kind of bring us towards the end of the show. If you enjoyed listening to us today, please do consider subscribing. Please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below. Let us know who has the nicer voice, who's wearing the nicer shirt, who has the nicer haircut. There's so many things.
I think there's you for every single one of those.
Well, some of us are just built differently. It's not. It's just how it is.
Well, you've done your hair today. I haven't done my hair.
That's not
it's
my
not
fault.
fair. It's not fair. I love like Wacky's just turned up. I'm here, guys. I made it. What have you talked about? And then we're ending, and he's like, "What?
Yeah. What the hell?
Well, it's not our fault, man. Fucking sort your life out. Get here on time. You know what time we stream.
So,
I feel like
we did start earlier.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, actually, that's true. We did start slightly earlier. Yeah, but like I feel like I thought this was a better time for you to watch. But the last couple of weeks, man, you've been slacking, and I have to call it out. Not your best work from
Then
a
what?
mod.
Man, what do we pay you for?
It's true.
All right. Well, this has been great. We're not going to do the. Oh my god! I threw my mouse across my desk. We're not going to do the show next week. We're not going to be here because my baby is on steroids. He's very hard to control, and last week we had to like abruptly end the show because he was losing his fucking mind. Like, he was losing his mind. So I'm not going to do that to my wife again. So we're just going to take the week off. It's probably going to be like the biggest week in Xbox history. And we won't be able to do the thing for it. What me and Tim are gonna we're gonna liaise and see if we can do a live stream for opening night live for Gamescom. No promises, but we'll see if we can make it happen. Yeah. Anything else, Tim? Have I missed anything?
No. I think that's everything, man. Yeah. If it does happen to be the biggest Xbox week in history, maybe I'll see if I can rope Caden in for a 2-man podcast. But yeah, no promises.
Cool.
No promises.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Well, that'd be good. Yeah. Actually, I forgot about him. I forgot we have a third sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, cool. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone, and yeah, have a good rest of your week.
Love you. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Bye. Bye-bye.